pulls a bit ahead. It's his start to call. The green flag is out as Helio-Hornish Contact flashes across the line at Chicagoland.
Paul, that's a big departure from what Helio said he may do. When I talked to him earlier, he said, I think I know Tony will take off, have the power, get in front of me, I'll follow him behind, and just save fuel.
Tony Kanaan goes up to the high side. Just behind them, Dan Wheldon goes to the high side of Dario Franchitti as he moves forward. Kanaan leads the first lap, followed by Catherine Evans. They score Franchitti in third, Wheldon fourth, and Rice in fifth.
Tony Kanaan now wants to get himself to the low side of the racetrack.
His greatest challenge in the championship is that car right behind him. The red and white car, Klein Tools, the sponsor, Dan Wheldon.
And Dan Wheldon was quickest in most of the sessions here over the last 2 days, has been looking very strong.
The rest of the field strings out. I'm sure Andretti Green Racing would like to get Franchitti around Helio-Hornish Contact as possible to try and protect their two contenders up in the front.
I'll just listen to that engine sing. 10,300 RPM. These engines run at for an entire race. Amazing.
At Chicagoland Speedway, here are the guys that are on the move in the IRL IndyCar Series, and those that are having a bit of a problem. A.J. Foyt, who had a great starting position in 6th place, dropped back to 10th on the start. This is a race that could, in fact, determine the championship in the IRL IndyCar Series. It's a bit of a reach, but if Tony Kanaan can do well today, and his two rivals, Dan Wheldon and the Indy 500 winner Buddy Rice, have problems, as early as the end of this race, Tony Kanaan can pick up the champion's crown. In all made, and closest rival in the points championship is in 2nd place, Dan Wheldon. But look at the yellow number 4 car, the Pennzoil-sponsored car of Thomas Scheckter. He is the gorilla in this field. He started back in 20th place. He's now running right around 8th place. Todd Harris?
Well, you're exactly right, Paul Page. Earlier in the meeting, Senior Vice President of Operations Brian Barnhart told these guys, listen, fellas, the first 70% of this race doesn't matter. Get in line, work together, don't go 3 wide. Well, Thomas Scheckter must not listen too well because he is already up 7 positions, and his teammate, Townsend Bell, has jumped up 5 positions from his starting position.
Scheckter has also had a fast lap at 215.2 miles an hour. You watch Townsend Bell down there. He's fighting it a little, reached down for a gear, comes up alongside Hornish, and behind Helio. Scheckter rides the high line.
That's where he's made all his passes since the beginning of this race. During practice, they spent a lot of time making their car work up on the high side.
Cars dart back and forth constantly. Big bump on the backstretch as they come off at turn 2. You'll see it from time to time. There's no question that it's there.
Now, right now, Scheckter has nowhere to go. He might have a faster car from these guys in front, but he cannot make a move with it just simply because the cars are fanned out in front of him.
He just passed over that bump. Kanaan, Wheldon, Rice, they're the front 3, and they run single file, which we certainly have seen with other teams before. That would give him a decided advantage. Whoa, did you see that? Oh.
All the cars in the back are getting that dirty air from the big cluster of cars in the front, Paul. Driving in the back section when they're together like this, man, I got to tell you, is one of the toughest things to do. You never know where your car is going to land on the racetrack next.
Thomas moves for the outside. Want to show you this with Felipe Giaffone and Coach Matsura. That was that puff of smoke that we saw just a second ago.
Koski's car in the bottom, sliding up into Giaffone's car on the high side. As I mentioned, very difficult to keep your car on the low side with all those cars in front with that disturbed air.
Buddy Rice moves to the high side. There's Dixon and Koski back at the front.
Very fitting that the 1, 2, 3 is Kanaan, Wheldon, and Rice, just the way they are in the championship. You watch Wheldon right now, every time Rice seems to have a little bit of a look, he just starts to run his car a little bit high, pushing Rice on the outside going through the turn. Now Rice back down to the low side to protect his spot from Castroneves.
And Scheckter still looking for any line that'll get him toward the front. In the middle, going to go high. Firestone telemetry from Thomas Schecter's car.
You can see the throttle right there, 100%. He's not taking his foot off at all the way around, even in traffic. And this is a key thing for him. The tire temperatures and pressures right in the middle of the green zone, just about perfect. He'll probably do no changes on the car during the first stop because I'm sure he likes it right now.
And look at those G's. Rice is down there trying to protect that low line. The Penske cars are running back in the field right now. Hornish at 9th and Helio Castroneves at 13th. And part of the reason may be this, Scott.
Touching the tires, the right front and left rear. You see a little puff of smoke coming off those cars. And what ends up happening is a possible cut tire. But both the drivers in the pit lane will certainly know because they have that telemetry system which will show their tire pressures, Paul.
And Todd Harris, they've asked Sam Hornish to look over Helio's car.
Yeah, that's the benefits of having a teammate like Sam Hornish Jr. They asked him to slide back, check out Helio's tire. Helio thought they touched. Sam didn't think so. He slid back, but Helio said the problem was he felt like he was losing tire pressure. So whether he's not getting that information off of telemetry, I don't know, but they will certainly check it when he comes in at lap 42 is what they're saying, or 48, excuse me, for Helio Castroneves.
Well, they're certainly capable through telemetry of watching the tire pressure in each of the tires. And that was a major breakthrough when it came several years ago because it helps anticipate problems and makes everything a little bit safer. Rice moves to the front. Wheldon has given him a boost. And now we have the first change in the lead as Buddy Rice moves out front. Scheckter comes too. What's going on with Tony Kanaan?
Tony Kanaan's car is changing. You heard him lift off the throttle in the middle of the turn, probably not able to carry the speed around like he was before. Possibly the tires are starting to have some wear. Cars change with fuel load, the weight changes.
Dan Wheldon up there on the right's not going to have any of it. He's going to go for the lead. Scheckter now giving him a boost. Rice is going to stick down on the low run. And now Wheldon picks up the lead for the first time. So 3 lead changes, 3 leaders. Scheckter has just been awesome to watch, though. What a wonderful performance he's given us. He is due into the pits in 2 laps. And back in the field, there is Buddy Rice. He sits 4th, 3rd, and Dan Wheldon. They are both still contenders in this championship battle. Jerry Punch, what's the story on Fernandez?
Well, Paul, the popular Mexican driver who won at Kentucky, said they're feeling it here today. John Ward, the engineer who calls the pit stop, said just like Kentucky, we had an outstanding pit stop, less than 8.5 seconds. We did not short fill. We filled it completely full, and we're getting outstanding fuel mileage. Plus, we're leading the race here at Chicagoland. Maybe a replay of Kentucky, possibly win number 2 for the Mexican driver.
Just 30 laps now to the halfway point. They have been green all the way, despite some of the closest racing we've ever seen. Stuff like this. Look at Mira go low on Hornish. Back to 2nd behind Fernandez. Buddy Rice has his fingertips on 3rd, but it's being contested from behind by, well, Wheldon for 1, and what looks like a whole group, including up on the high side there, Dario Franchitti. So whatever was the problem, they seem to have fixed it with that change in pressures on the tires. I'll take you back. This is Townsend Bell.
Just a few laps ago, Townsend Bell trying to squeeze in between Bell-Giaffone and the wall, but Giaffone obviously doesn't see him coming and just grazes the wall on the right-hand side. Another one coming up with Scott Sharp on the left-hand side. Delphi car number 8 going into right now up into Dixon, just touching a little bit and moving on. They're not going to get away with this too many more times, Paul, before we'll end up with a yellow.
at the championship, but it is so far outside. He'd have to garner every available point in these next 3 races. This is Scheckter and Wheldon just a moment ago. Hornish down there on the inside, number 6. How did they get away with that?
These guys have just got nerves of steel. As we mentioned before, Brian Barnhart said, guys, let's not go 3 wide. Let's get 75% of this race done and over with. I don't think one of those drivers ended up listening in the meeting, Paul.
Scheckter moves around on the high side behind Tony Kanaan. Adrian Fernandez at the front, but look at this ride with Thomas Scheckter. There's the front 4 in front of you at over 212 miles an hour. And Schecter's going to try and make it 3 wide. "84 laps complete. You're approaching the halfway point. 100 laps would be the halfway. Scott Goodyear, we're talking guys that have been solid at speed for that entire time. That's got to contribute to mental fatigue.
Certainly wears you down when you're always conscious of what's on the top side and below you. Remember, you're always listening to the spotter who's in your ear all the way around. Anytime these guys are side by side, somebody's in their ear, Paul. Very difficult. It's just not a walk in the park that these guys are out here for. And you see Thomas Scheckter consistently using the gear shifter all the time to make sure that he has the opportunity to stay in the correct RPM. His right hand will end up being the hand that actually does all the shifting.
Got to be tough to drive and have somebody talking in your ear at the same time. Mira goes to the low side. Battle for the lead. Battle for the championship right now. Buddy Rice is in 3rd. Dan Wheldon is 4th. Tony Kanaan is in 8th. And the caution comes out. Report. Well, you see the whole field, so the caution comes out for debris. What this one is for?
Well, he's been off a lap or so here, so we'll have to see what goes on with this. Obviously, some tires are going to go on, and then they might make some changes on the car. But
caution comes out.
Oh,
caution comes out.
Townsend Bell.
And Townsend Bell's in trouble. He rides the wall. Caught the wall going into 3.
Interesting to see his right hand's pushed on the button. He's already communicating back to the pit lane, saying, guys, I'm all right.
Unfortunately, the car comes to a stop low off of the racing line. The rest of the field did get slowed down. And we've got our first real contact with the wall today. And it's Townsend Bell, who is having a great race going. We'll take a look at what happened to Townsend Bell in just a moment. Also, the question comes up, is this a time to go in and refuel it again? We'll see. Now we'll go back and show you what happened to Townsend Bell. Guess what? Remember Nazareth 2 weeks ago? Well, Scott Sharp was in it with Bell.
You can see up on the top of your screen right there, the yellow and red car. Scott Sharp had some problems coming off the previous turn, was high. Townsend Bell tries to make it in there. Now watch Sharp going down the car just in front of you right here, going through the turn, starts to get high. He's already in the 3rd lane up in the gray. Well, now Townsend Bell gets a run. He thinks, I'll go high. I'll get a few of these guys. And right now, not enough room in between Sharp and also the wall.
The pace of this race has been so blistering. Consider, though, what that means, though, in terms of how... Oh, and that's Lazier.
I think it's okay.
They're also saying Schecter's got a problem. So 2 cars. For a moment there, we weren't sure if Scheckter was going to get it stopped before he got to Lazier. Whoa.
With Scheckter clapping his hands like that, it's almost like nice job to the other driver. We'll have
We're
to see
yelling at them with the way he was driving.
Some observers
Are you going to
think
make it
that
out there? Are you going to be able to stay out?
this might have been caused in part by Vitor Mira. We'll take a look at a replay and see if we can figure it out. Watch Jock and Scheckter talking together, and they're not happy with each other. Uh-oh. Oh, here it is, Scott.
Thomas is getting a draft right now. A little bit of movement down, coming down on Mira. The car's getting very close. There we go, a little bit of a bump. You know something? And Thomas just followed Lazier up into the gray. Ended up getting into the gray himself. Probably thought they were both going to touch and really had nowhere to go with this. But here you go. Mira's just going off the turn, moving up a little bit. The right rear tire touches the left front of Lazier's, pushes Lazier up into the wall, and he just grazes the wall, lost control of the car. And Scheckter himself actually really has no course on either one of these guys here. Now you would want to roll off the throttle if you see these guys are going to touch, start to get down the lower side of the racetrack. But he's already up into this gray area here, Paul, and there is absolutely no grip up there in that gray.
But with Vitor Mira, he was alongside and ahead of the cockpit of Jacques Lazier's car.
You know, that is more like a racing incident. Jacques probably could have given him a little bit more room coming off the turn. Vitor obviously is going to move himself up. You just look at the wall on the right-hand side, and all those black marks are there.
Fernandez goes for the lead again, alongside Herta. Close action. Hornish isn't quite sure which one he wants to go with. We're showing you the lap since the last pits there. Now here comes Helio Castroneves. And the two-target Chip Ganassi cars just behind. Here comes Dan Wheldon moving high in 4th place. Back on board with Darren Manning. For a second at least. It looks like the onboard went away. Hope the rest of the car is working. Wheldon takes the high side. One thing that the IRL has told these guys is the second guy into an issue, it's his problem. If you're going to go 3 guys into a fight, the 3rd guy into the fight is the one that has to keep everybody else safe.
When 2 cars are side by side, the 3rd guy that's trying to make that high line is responsible for making sure there's enough room for him there.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Hey guys, Chip Ganassi, for a while now, he's been saying he thinks Roger's on his same fuel pattern as Scott Dixon. And that last stop, Dixon and Manning, neither one took tires, and that's how they got out ahead of AGR.
Fusing it, buddy. They're right on you. Keep going. You're the best at this, Adrian. Let's do it. Still there. Outside. Outside. Still there, outside, outside.
Actually, Taylor didn't lose a lap by changing a wing there. That's pretty good. He's right up in the fight.
Outside, keep going. Outside. Outside. You got 2 cars. Outside. Right, outside.
This is
1
what
car,
we need to have.
outside. On your front. You're clear on the rear.
Oh, shit. There we go. Could see that one coming.
Yeah.
Yep. See that one coming.
They worked on that one, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
You all right there, Mark? You got a copy there, Mark?
He's climbing out.
He's all right. Wheels off. Wheels go down the track. He's all right, Vanessa.
Say it again. Yeah.
Just finished saying how well he was running too, Taylor.
Well, apparently you were wrong.
What's running down?
Great shot of the steering wheel he threw out on the inside.
Yeah, that's $4,000 running down the dim.
Well, the caution just come out again, and there's the reason why. Mark Taylor's car, 13, and the 14 car of A.J. Foyt, the 4th. Tangled. You could actually see it coming for a while. The cars are on the pit road just because the track is so blocked up here. They want to try and get that cleaned as fast as they can. Here it is, Scott.
You see the green and white car right there in your screen. Actually, Foyt, the 4th, coming up a little bit too aggressively coming off the turn. Now, his car almost started to go on an angle, Paul. I'm not so sure that maybe something didn't go wrong with the car because he went up there and just collected Mark Taylor.
Yeah, we've got another angle here. It was a pretty sudden move.
See, there he goes, and he maybe didn't have an indication from his spotter that Mark was up there. In any case, both coming off of turn 4, doing 215 miles an hour. That impact against the wall, and then with all those flames going right over Mark Taylor right now, that is a scary ride, let me tell you.
You can look at the safer wall there, which helps this, doesn't it?
Yeah, on your right-hand side, you can actually see the safer barrier that they use. It's a steel and foam energy reduction, and you can see it right there on the top also. It's just corrugated steel with some foam behind it, and there's a space in between. And here it is right there. There's the corrugated steel right there. These are all the pieces of foam, and this is the actual cement retaining wall that is actually used around all the race circuits. You can see where the retaining wall here meets up with the safer barrier.
20 laps to go to the finish.
Brian Herta is being very aggressive, the driver in second. I know it's his teammates behind him right now, but Paul, he's the only guy that's not won this year in that camp, and that's what he's looking at and thinking about right now, is leading this race.
Well, if he's able to do it, it'll be the first team in history that's had 4 cars win in a single season. Whoa! The Penske car's up high there. That looked like Hornish.
Great to see Toyota come back into the game here with some of their updates. We expected it at Nazareth, that 9.54 as they call it. But I have to correct myself because last year I put my decimal point in the wrong place a couple weeks ago.
And they're trying to do fuel calculation math here today.
There we
That's
go.
great. Wheldon. He goes way high. Herta tries the middle line. They're both trying to catch Adrian Fernandez. Wheldon makes that high line work for the moment. Now Tony Kanaan tries to poke a nose into it. And Wheldon falls back to 3rd. Buddy Rice is up working now on the 11 car of Kanaan. And then there's the rest of the gang.
Look how close that is, 215, 18 miles an hour top speed. I would tell they're almost touching, Paul.
You need a lot of trust and a lot of confidence to do that. Circulating at over 213 miles an hour. You know, those intervals, while interesting, are fairly meaningless.
There we go, a touch between Kanaan and Rice. Kanaan started to go on the high side. He's been down on the bottom all day long. Probably wanted to see if his car would work up top. I think Rice surprised him, Paul.
Yeah, both of them, though, kept it under control. Oh, and this time, no! That's Rice upside down on the backstretch. He flipped up, got the car sideways. It got nosed higher in the air.
Hey, buddy, can you hear us there?
Car is not even stopped, Paul, and the safety crew is on the scene.
No answer, though. Manning, he's involved. You saw him reach out of the cockpit. So now we're waiting on word from Rice. The safety team is there. They're working. And down in the Ray Hall Letterman pits. Remember Rice going for it tight at Pikes Peak. That's Buddy's dad walking away there, and then Scott Remke, a team manager on the scooter.
Interesting to note that Bobby Rahal is not here this weekend. He is actually up in Watkins Glen, New York, running his vintage car. Probably watching this on television.
They want to get this car. That's Bud. That's his dad. Walking over back into the paddock area.
Now,
we're going to try to get it right side up.
We didn't have any communication, but Paul, you have to remember that the antenna is on the top of the car, probably has ground the antenna away, and they probably know that Buddy is okay underneath it, but he cannot make contact with the pit lane.
Chip Ganassi watches. Darren Manning out of the car. He appears to be all right. Now they're getting that car rolled right side up. The word from race control is that he's okay.
Now, as a driver, I will tell you previously, one thing that he's thinking about right now is not about injury. It's about that the championship is gone.
So they get the car down, right side up, very gently. And there's Buddy. Whoa! Buddy Rice is okay. Buddy Rice just pops up and out of the car. So Buddy Rice is all right. He climbs out of the car after they gently turn it back right side up. Here's what happened.
Just at the beginning of your screen, you can see that he got his left rear touched by the right front of Darren Manning. As soon as the two tires touch, Paul, the rubber, then it just connects quickly and sends the car into the air. See, Buddy was just starting on his way down off of the turn, probably did not know that Darren was there. Probably more so on Buddy's line fault there of coming down a little bit too quickly as we watch from the rear section here right now. You can see that Buddy being on the right-hand side just started to bring the car down to protect that inside line and ended up connecting with Darren Manning.
Yeah, Sam Hornish had to go down low on the inside to get around the car. There's Buddy sliding sideways, gets kicked up in the air.
And you saw the front of Darren Manning's car almost get lifted up also.
And taking a look at it, you saw Tony Kanaan going through the middle of this, so this is onboard Kanaan, the two participants right ahead.
You know, Tony Kanaan, after watching this, will be on the radio and going, boys, you would be amazed at what I just saw.
Tribute, though, to the strength of the cars as we watch from Manning's car.
The right front there of Manning, and here you see Rice coming across, crossing him, and then he just ends up getting the air underneath the car, lifting it up, and here goes Buddy up and over. You think Darren Manning didn't go, holy moly?
Or something of that sort. Unbelievable footage as Buddy Rice, second time this year, first time he did it at Pikes Peak on the start. This was on a restart where he got caught out. This time, though, it flipped the car upside down.
On the low side, making some great ground up there. You see how quickly he was going and catching up to that group? That is an incredible shot.
And we're going green. It is Adrian Fernandez that leads the field down. Brian Herta immediately moves to the outside, looking for a chance to get Fernandez. They bottle up just behind Wheldon and Kanaan. They go side by side into two. The two Penske cars are closing on the back of this as well. Scott Dixon, Vitor Mira goes down on the inside of Dixon. You look from Dixon's car now. That's Mira right ahead.
An absolute guarantee, Paul, these guys will be flat on the gas with 5 laps left to go.
Fernandez, Herta, Kanaan. Now Elio Castroneves trying to get in on Kanaan.
Wheldon closing the door right there on Castroneves.
4 to go. Onto the backstretch again. Mira puts the left side down below the white line. Gets alongside Dixon. Hernandez still the dominant power in here. Fernandez out in front. So is that where Herta wants to be or where he's just put?
Right now, with as close as these cars are, if you can be in the front, stay low, that's where I'd want to be. It used to be that second place was maybe the place to be. Not enough power to pass these days with these new 3-liter engines, Paul.
Tony Kanaan tries to move on Herta now. 2 to go. Adrian pulls away slightly on the backstretch. Mira and Hornish go side by side. Dixon down low on Mira. White flag comes out, 1.5 miles to go at Chicagoland. Adrian Fernandez looks very powerful. Down the backstretch. Don't forget all the problems that Adrian Fernandez had today. But here is Herta. Herta makes his move. Herta's on the high side, but he's going to have to go further, and it isn't going to work. Adrian Fernandez has taken his second win in the IRL. What a run, and Brian Herta gave it everything he had right there at the last, trying to get high on him. Wisely, though, Adrian kept right down the middle. So his second win in the IRL comes in only his 13th start, and he moves up 6th in the points. John Ward, the engineer on the team, accepting the congratulations.